I don't know that I'm quite there yet. I have seen some changes physically more so than anything. But I started using the enzymes first. So I didn't do a one or a forgive or the rainbow. That's not how I started. With reading different things in the group and different responses, was taking into consideration what I know about myself and being in tune to some of the things I've done over the years, things I haven't done, things I should be doing and I'm not, all those things. I think for me, it was definitely, I need to kind of, and I've been doing supplements and things like that, and just trying to make sure that I have um, things that I think work for me. So I was actually introduced to this product through another affiliate, and I met him in a cell salt group. And so we started conversing back and forth. And so he started telling me about ZenCleanz. So he added me to the Facebook group. And so then from there, I um, I got into the Telegram group, and then I knew that it was, after reading some of the stuff on the website too, that I knew it was something that I wanted to pursue, at least try it. I have always wanted to do a liver cleanse, but that whole Maurice protocol was a little bit intimidating for me, even though I'm in a group that's all they talk about. And people in that group have done dozens, and there are people in there who've done hundreds. And I have a friend who's done it a couple times, and I don't know, the whole thought of drinking Epsom salts was not, I wasn't a fan. But I mean, I was willing to do it. I just never got around to it. So this one just made more sense to me. It seemed, I seemed to, connect isn't really the best word for me for this, but it was just something that I felt I could move forward on. So what happened was, I got some micella, I got light seed, and I got the quantum particles first because I knew I needed to start working on my gut. And things just started happening just by introducing those. Um, Diet's a little weak. I'm still working on that, and I know it's a process. So it's one of those things where I introduce one thing at a time slowly. So if I have a reaction, I know what's triggered it. I figure if I'm trying 3 or 4 new things at the same time and I have a reaction, then I don't know. I've learned this through experience, then I don't know what's triggered it. So I think I started with micella, 15 milligrams or milliliters, sorry, at a time. And then I introduced the quantum particles, which are fabulous. Those things have been amazing. The micella, I think, really helped with kind of helping to clear things out as well. And then I also had the fiber crystals. So I had those 3, and then like I said, I added the light seed as well. So after that, I had the confidence, doing that for a while and feeling like I was priming myself. I'm a little older, so it's not the same as when I was doing things at 20. I see my son doing things at 20 that I'm like, I can't do that anymore. Either between diet or whatever. So I went ahead and I got the rainbow, and I tried to go into it without having any kind of, I just was trying to experience it and not have any kind of hesitations or any preconceived. I mean, I know what I was hoping for. Everybody wants to see, ropes and ropes of mucoid plaque forever. And I knew that, it was probably going to take a little bit more. So I think for me, I think the preliminary things that I did gave me the confidence to move forward with the rainbow as well. And I wasn't as I don't want to use the word fear, because I wasn't fearful of it, especially knowing, having experienced some of the product already. I guess just that's it, the confidence to move forward with the rainbow. Okay, so normally what's interesting, like fermented food and I usually don't get along. and I've had gut issues for a long time. I know that that's part of my problem. I've been taking digestive enzymes. I do DGL. I do different things to try to help heal. So one of the things Daniel mentioned too is taking good night, collagen. The collagen. So I had been taking that on and off. So I'm being more deliberate. I think part of it for me was just the fact that I could take these fermented enzymes and not have a feeling that they're reacting negatively. I would drink something like kombucha, and I get this weird. It wasn't really a creeping, like a crawling kind of feeling. It was this, but my skin in my insides just kind of felt. It wasn't tingly. I'm not finding the right adjective, obviously, but it was a weird sensation, and it would take a little while for it to pass. And so I just realized that every time I drank kombucha or even wine, I'd have that feeling. And so I knew my liver wasn't handling it very well. So I knew that the liver was definitely a big issue. And then I also noticed a lot of burping when I talk, a lot of burping just sitting there. I'm not even eating anything, just a lot of burping. And so through the group, I mean, when Jessica had mentioned about the liver, and I'm just like, everything keeps pointing back to my liver. So I think for me, it wasn't as much of an aha as much as it was more validations. I was getting more and more validations of what I was thinking was going on, and the things I needed to turn it around. So when I got through when I started going through the rainbow, I'm trying to remember. I think I had a little bit of a headache. I had a couple dizzy spells that were really intense, and that kind of freaked me out. I'm still trying to figure that one out. So I'd like an aha for that. But just the cleaning out and again, I don't know that I've had as much so the I'm happy with the results because I know I need to continue. You know what I mean? So I know it was kind of the first steps, and I'm still taking the black vacuum and the fiber crystals at night. I'm doing the enzymes at least twice a day, and I'm taking liquid enzymes every day as well. So now I'm doing the ambrosia because I've finished all the others that I've had. And I'm going to be doing another one and another forgive soon. So my goal is to do each of those once a month. And then hopefully by the fourth month, because one of the things I was going to do is I really like, everybody talks about doing those back-to-back liver cleanses, making it into the 3 days. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to go for it. And I got to the 6th day where you start the liver cleanse, and my body was like, I don't think so. You're not doing another day of this. So I listened to it, but what was funny is about halfway through the 7th day, I was thinking, I should have done it. I should have just gone for it. And my body didn't say a whole lot. Like, it was sort of, I felt like I was kind of coasting, but then logic set in and said, your body said no way yesterday, and today you're okay. But I think I would have definitely pushed it. So I'm glad I didn't push it. But I feel like if I can do a couple more liver cleanses, with the one and the forgive, and then maybe by December I can do, because I know Daniel talks about doing 2 forgives back to back, and I might just try that. So I think that's a long answer to your question, but the ahas were more of validations, I think, for me, than not really knowing, because I've kind of been in this circuit for a long time, and like I said, I think everything was pointing to my liver. I did as much as I could to try to support my liver during the cleanse as well, with the castor oil and the heating packs and the massaging and things like that. So it was more validations, I think, for me. And and like I said, the support in the group has been great for things like Daniel talking about adding the collagen and stuff, because that's definitely, I think, helped as well. So I think I'm excited to see where this is going. I'm excited to see. I mean, we talked a little bit about iridology as well. I don't know if you saw that conversation with people's eyes. Yeah. So I've actually known people that their eyes have changed. So, and I've been told I have blue eyes. So um, I'm kind of waiting to see what happens. So we'll see.
Experience.
Well, the digestion is my biggest one, really. I don't know. I'm hoping that over time the sleep is going to get better. Mm, I don't know. It's hard because I do other things as well. So part of it for me is, I think a lot of what I'm doing, things work synergistically together. I think the enzymes and all the added things like the crystals and the quantum particles, I mean, those things are just taking everything up a notch. So everything that I've been doing, I've been I knew there was something more. And then when I was speaking, Nick I don't know how you say his last name, but Nicholas, he and I were discussing it, and I had said something to him about, I think the missing piece for me really is the detoxing. And I think what Daniel says about, doing a deeper cleanse, I don't remember what does he say a couple times a year or every couple months or so, but then it's a daily thing. I mean, when we are bombarded daily by our environment, in everything from the places we live or work, to going in our cars, to going in the store, to the 5G, to the spraying, to, just everything. And we're so, our bodies are having to detox things in our lifetime that weren't around 200 years ago. And so I think anything we can do to support that, and I think the enzymes are doing that. For me, at least, I think like I said, I think it's over time, I'm going to notice more, and I try to pay attention a little bit more to things, more so now. I noticed right after I had come off the cleanses and stuff, and I was slowly adding back foods, I also noticed that there's certain foods my body just does not want anymore. And so I had to be, my son works in a restaurant, and they make these duck fat fries with a truffle aioli sauce. Yeah, they're very good in the mouth. But once they hit where they're going, my liver was not happy with me, and my gut wasn't happy with me. So I haven't had anything since. So I've always kind of known, I wouldn't be surprised if I wasn't, excuse me, on the verge of fatty liver. So that was one thing that I'm, really trying to be cautious of. And so some things in my diet have improved. Again, I'm adding the enzymes every day, so I'm not missing that. Some days I even take 2 doses of the 30 milliliters of the liquid. But I do the quantum particles. The black vacuum, I'm still trying to figure out the best dosage for that and the timing. I noticed one pill isn't really working. I'm not seeing any difference. So I started taking 2, and I'm going to see how that goes. And I did notice somebody in the group mentioned something about taking 3 was his sweet spot. So that may be me too. But I did learn to buy the bigger bags. And the quantum stuff, I could eat that all day. So honestly, when I get a little bit of a sweet tooth, I go for one of those. And that tends to help. And if I get a little hungry, I take some of the liquid. So I think in some ways, the things for me have been just trying to be a little bit more mindful of what I'm sticking in my mouth to eat. Because, this is an investment. This is an investment in me. And so I want to be a little bit more cognizant of the things that, that I'm doing. I want to be a good steward of what God's given me for my life. But I also, know that, I do tend to be, affected by emotions and things like that. So sometimes I binge eat or one of those things. So I'm trying to modify those as well. So I think again, it's a process. And I think the enzymes and all of the stuff in this program have been a huge help with not only getting me started in that direction, but also help with maintenance and sustaining. Even though I'm not doing the maintenance package right now, I'm kind of doing my own thing. Like I said, I'm doing ambrosia right now, and there's a few other ones I want to try. So,
And it's
I've run into quite a few people. They're not very in. My friend that has done several of the Marie's cleanses, because I'll ask her. I remember the first time she did it, she was giving me kind of the play by play, and I said, "So what do you notice difference?" And she goes, "You know me, I'm not in tune with my body." So it's like, so yeah, but that's her, and that's how I know her. And um, but yeah, it's definitely something when you start paying a little bit more attention. And you see some of the comments in the group and stuff, and you kind of see how they're going. And um it's hard sometimes because everybody's experience is different, but you also know, and even though they're different, they're very much alike. And so the bottom line is trust the process. And I kind of feel for the ones that they want the roadmap before they get there. And I get that because that's how I am. But I've also learned um over the years too, that especially with something like this, you can't compare. It's like, I don't know if you have kids yet, but everybody's pregnancy, I mean, I have friends that have told me they've got 5 or 6 kids, and every pregnancy and every delivery was different. So you can't even compare, one pregnancy to another, let alone, I mean, the outcome's the same generally. And, I mean, the process in all between tends to be very similar. But some people get splitting headaches, or some people get whatever, rashes on their face or whatever. It's I think it's really taking the time to just let it go. And I think I even said this in one of my comments afterwards, is this first rainbow, I was too busy. I was busy while I was doing it. You know what I mean? I was doing other things. And the next time I do a cleanse, it's going to be all about me. It's going to be introspect. I'm not going to do everything for everybody else. I'm not going to be cleaning the house or doing the dishes or, working on the dogs or whatever. I'm going to be taking those 3 days and just, it's me, and it's what I need and what my body needs and what my spirit needs and what my emotions need and all that. And I think that's really part of it, because um, we don't function in a vacuum. Everything's interconnected. I tell people it's like a plate of spaghetti. So your emotions affect how you feel and how you, what you eat. A lot of people have all these let's say, I don't want to say illnesses, but they have these labels. And I think half of those labels would disappear if people got in tune to what you're doing to your body, what you're putting in your body, what you're exposing your body to, from makeup to products to the clothes to everything in your environment to what you ingest. Those things affect you. Those things affect your psyche. They affect your emotions. They affect your focus. Um, and I just think that over time, the more in tune you are to those things, the more you're going to realize what is affecting you and what isn't, and what your body can tolerate versus what mine can. And, everybody's a little different. My son has had certain environmental allergies his whole life and sensitivities to certain foods. Well, he became 18, started working and making some money, and now all of a sudden he thinks those things just magically go away. So then he gets sick and he can't figure it out why. But, he's a kid, really. And I try to tell him, I'm like, I didn't keep those things from you because I was trying to be mean. I mean, he didn't even tolerate chicken until he was 4. So thank God I had the wherewithal in the beginning when he was younger. I had friends that had kids that had different intolerances and stuff. He couldn't tolerate a lot of different foods. So he grew up eating everything. This kid will eat anything. everything except squash. He will not eat yellow squash. But this kid will eat. He's tried escargot. He's eaten crickets. You know, the little. He's eaten it all. He tries everything. I mean, I give him a lot of credit, but in the long run, you know, that's great. But in the same sense, I see him eating Twizzlers and drinking Red Bulls, and I'm like, dude, you know, he didn't get that growing up. So at the very least, he's, you know, I've taught him. He's got the wisdom somewhere in the back of his head. But right now he just wants to do what he wants to do. So when he gets sick, I'm like, hard to feel sorry for you, dude.